What happens with FNAF in 10 years? Well, we don't know, but it's probably gonna be disappointing. Yeah. Well, you might be saying, well, Fredbear, you don't know shit about the future. How do you know what's happening? Well, there's not much of FNAF left. We all know the old FNAF has passed away in 2021. So what makes you think? What do we have left of FNAF right now? Well, most likely in 1 month or so, we will most likely get Security Breach, the new popular FNAF game. Probably the biggest hype of FNAF, basically, right? Most likely going to last for a year and die. Basically it. You play the game, lore will be mad free for like a year or so, and then that'll crash. What is next for FNAF? So it's year 2022. What will happen with FNAF then? Well, still have the movie to wait on, so most likely will come in 2022 because recording just started like a month ago. So we most likely will get it in like late 2022, maybe like in September or November. Yeah, just skip the month, but I don't care. Yeah, well, basically, most likely we'll be talking about this for like a good few years. And remember when Scott said, yeah, I'm planning to make 3 movies about FNAF, FNAF 1, FNAF 2, FNAF 3, so that most likely will last for a good 6 years. Most likely, we've been waiting for this movie for 7 years now, and it's finally being made. So once they settle the first movie, see how it does, and if it does great, they'll most likely make 2 more about his plan, and that's it. Most likely, maybe make a FNAF 4 movie, and that's it. After that, we don't know what happens to FNAF then. Could they make a new game? Yes. Well, what do you think happens after Security Breach? Do you think that basically old FNAF animatronics, their souls have retired? And William Afton most likely will be defeated in Security Breach. They can't milk FNAF forever. So what happens to that? We remember Scott said about FNAF into madness. Remember that? Well, that was like 2 years ago when he mentioned it. But basically, what do you think is going to happen in that? Not too sure. Now, how about merch? We will most likely fully stock up with FNAF merch. And FNAF Plus, actually, remember that? Yeah, FNAF Plus will come out. And that's it. We'll most likely get your creation. Fan games will live for, I bet FNAF games will be here for 30 years and then it'll die off. Because do you expect a game that died 20 years ago and then they'll still make fan games about it? Maybe only true fans. To understand what the hell is going on about FNAF, and maybe you might be getting confused where I am going with this video. This is not guaranteed, but this most likely will happen because it has happened to many games. Slender Man has died off after its famous thing. Was a good many years of Slender Man. It's died down. So let's make a list of every year, and so you basically get a good idea what's going on. Alright, year 1. Basically, year 1 is obviously Security Breach. Well, basically, it's 2021. That's basically it. Security Breach will come out, and it most likely will be unpopular in 2022, early. Year 2, 2022. Basically, the FNAF movie will most likely come around the late 2022. Most likely in the early 2023. So that might be year 3. But it's in year 2 or 3 where the first FNAF movie will come out. Year 3, 2023. Most likely after the FNAF movie comes out. Remember when Dawko said about maybe FNAF making a collab with Chuck E. Cheese? If Chuck E. Cheese is still existing in 3 years, or 2 years, whatever you make your mind up, they'll most likely do a promotion of the movie. And they most likely will make animatronics, and it'll be limited time when the movie comes out, so they get more profits for each other. So that's most likely what's happening in 2023 when the first FNAF movies come out. Year 4. 2024. I'm always lost track of everything. So basically, in year 4, will most likely, if the movie does if it does great, the fan base loves it, they'll most likely start announcing for a sequel. And if Security Breach doesn't finish off the FNAF series, then we will most likely get more books, obviously, many books, and a new game announced. Or maybe a new game right there. Maybe a trailer, I bet. Or a game teaser. Most likely around. Then, year 5, 2025. You can see where I'm going with this. After the new game supposedly will come out, it'll most likely die off then with the theories and that. And the FNAF 2 movie, if they want to get it out pretty soon so they can get that good cash, then most likely FNAF 2 movie will most likely come out in 2025 or very late 2025 or very early 2026. And more books will come out and many merch will come out about the game. Year 6, 2026. Obviously the same number, right? So you think, Fredbear, what are you talking? Why are you thinking FNAF will end in 10 years? When year 6 is basically doing extremely well. Like the last 5 years have been doing great. Well, year 6 will most likely, if FNAF 2 movie does very good, then they'll most likely say we're making a FNAF 3 movie. We're going to get some of that cash, and FNAF Into Madness will most likely be announced, but we don't know what is left of FNAF, the FNAF games and the FNAF lore. You think it would end in the last FNAF game? They most likely will make a lot of new things about with FNAF. They most likely will make a literal theme park in 2026. I think that will happen because if FNAF is very popular then, they'll most likely do that. Now, FNAF 2 being out, you think Chuck E. Cheese would get some of that cash, so they might make a new Chuck E. Cheese place where it's just FNAF. They most likely will make pizzerias. That'll be leading in to year 7. Year 7, 2027. Well, basically, after the pizzerias do well, but FNAF will slowly get unpopular because of no new games coming out that time. People will get older, people will move on with different things and different hobbies and different games they like. FNAF will start going downhill, but FNAF 3 movie might kick it back up. So basically, FNAF 3 movie most likely will come out very late 2027. And it'll kick up the bum, and it will launch up and get popular again for a few months. Year 8, 2028. Now, FNAF then has slowly calmed down. It's starting to get less popular back in its good old 2014 days. It's starting to get less known. Only true remembering fans will play the games and talk about it. Since there's no new games coming out, because Scott is most likely retired and retired FNAF the games because there's nothing new going on. So most likely they won't make any more movies because that's probably Scott's plan. He most likely he's finished a story and he thinks FNAF has a good I don't know. I'm stupid. I'm not even gonna calculate how old is FNAF now in 2028. He's gonna say, I think we should just close the book on this one, boys. And basically, FNAF will slowly become quiet. Year 9, 2029. Most likely things will be very futuristic in 2029. Most likely new games will kick FNAF down very hard. The old FNAF games will look like they were made by a child. I'm sorry to say that, but it most likely will look like that when new unbelievable graphics and most likely so real detail you think you're there. Truly. We're most likely going to do a lot of things in 2029 in 9 years or 8 years right now. Most likely FNAF has been quiet, very quiet along the FNAF, for the game streets. FNAF commentators and that will start forgetting about FNAF and start talking about different things because FNAF will not be on that tier list. And before we carry on, what about FNAF? What about everything else? About the plushies and that? Well, they'll most likely stop selling them because they're not that popular anymore. The original Freddy plush will most likely cost hundreds of dollars when they retire because FNAF is a very old thing. And only hardcore fans would really want the original stuff. So they'll probably they'll sell their kidneys for a FNAF plush back then. And FNAF plush tubers, if they're original, like me, they'll most likely stick with FNAF until their channel dies with FNAF. Year 10, 2030. The number is here. FNAF has passed away. We might as well get a coffin out because FNAF has sadly died a quiet death. Most likely only a few thousand fans will remember the good old FNAF. We reckon that Darko and Fusility Gamer, what happens to those people? What happens to the great grand Markiplier? He'll most likely remember that good game that got him very popular and got FNAF very popular as well. Most likely his newer videos will reach over the most popular video on his channel, which is FNAF, and FNAF will slowly be forgotten on every channel. Darko and regular YouTubers will most likely get very popular, or some will die with their channel. No, they won't die, the channel will die and move on with other things. Razbowski, known ones are like Korex Kenshin, Razbowski, Fusion Gamer, and Darko. They'll most likely talk about FNAF, and they most likely will stick with FNAF sometimes, but they won't always do it. They most likely play different games, and most likely play FNAF fan games frequently. Speaking of FNAF fan games, in year 10 of FNAF that's died, what happens to everything else with FNAF? FNAF merch will not exist. Well, it will exist. It won't just vanish in 10 years. No, it most likely will be scarce. It'll be scarce. And most likely custom FNAF merch will be done. Maybe, and well, okay, I forgot what I was going to goddamn talk about it. Alright, let me just redo my mind. Oh, FNAF fan games, great. I was talking about that. So basically, FNAF fan games. What will happen to them? They most likely will stay here with us for 20 years after the game, and then they'll disappear. I think FNAF fan games will frequently get less and less made because they're not as popular, and they most likely get less unique as time goes, and they'll most likely will slowly disappear, and in after years or decades, the year most likely 20 something 20 I'm guessing 2060, FNAF will not will there will only be a memory. If you have plushies, if you have merch of anything left of it, you'll most likely be in your box with your childhood, and you'll look back thinking, oh, I remember when that game was very popular. And FNAF has officially been forgotten. Yes, this might not sound the greatest ending you like, but what do you expect? Not every game lasts forever, and that's what happens. Not everything lasts forever, which is very sad. So I recommend you love and you appreciate with FNAF right now. Enjoy the most of it and have the greatest fun, because in a long time in the future, you will slowly forget. So enjoy FNAF when it's still great and it's grand on its time. And enjoy watching your commentators, especially me. You should enjoy me. Give me money, right? Okay, so yeah, sorry for being biased, but I'm a great YouTuber. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. I really don't know why you sat here for 19 minutes, nearly 20 minutes, for a video that most likely will not be factual or will be guaranteed 10 out of 10. If you come back to this in a few years and say, whoa, that stupid child was right, thank you, and give me $10,000 and I will never speak of FNAF again. Yeah, whatever. So hope you enjoyed this video. Comment below if you think I'm right or wrong. Comment your opinions. Don't do that. I don't know. Whatever. You do what you want. Make sure to like the video or dislike it if you don't like it, because I really understand. I don't. And yeah, make sure to subscribe if you like this content. Not everyone likes the content, obviously. So I hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, do you think FNAF is gonna die in 10 years? Or truly die in 2050 or 60? Once it becomes non-existent in like most likely 30 years, it'll be very forgotten. But do you think that will happen? I don't know. I'm just guessing from this point. But that's just a theory. I hope you enjoyed this video for the third damn time. And yes, this took me half an hour to make. So goddamn it, enjoy this damn video. Bye bye.